Pakistan's spy agency ISI in the doghouse of the international community for its nefarious activities, which include providing safe havens to terrorists like Osama bin Laden, funding and training terrorist outfits, and even helping some like Lashkar-e-Taiba to carry out strikes such as the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. Pakistan's relations with America have been strained in recent times. They took a turn for the worse with the arrest of Syed Ghulam Nabi Fai, a Kashmir lobbyist from Virginia on July 18 by America's FBI for secretly working as an agent of Pakistan's notorious spy agency, the ISI in the US, and driving Pakistan's Kashmir agenda. Fai ran a Washington-based non-profit organization called the Kashmiri American Council, better known as Kashmir Center, for decades, using, said an FBI affidavit, money routed to him through the hawala network by the ISI. The affidavit also maintains that Pakistan has spent at least $4 million since the mid-1990s lobbying the US Congress and the White House through Fai and the Kashmir Center, where Fai served as executive director. The high-flying Kashmiri activist donated generously to the campaign of some US lawmakers. Fai, who is now under home detention under round-the-clock electronic surveillance, portrayed himself as the face of Kashmir issue in the US. The ISI's move to influence American policy on Kashmir has added to existing tensions in the US-Pakistan relationship.
It's also going to have a damaging impact on Pakistan's position on the Kashmir issue. I think that Washington policymakers, particularly representatives on Capitol Hill, will be much more careful, in who they are dealing with, and there will be more skepticism, I think, toward anybody who's pushing a really hard line on the issues, particularly, focusing on the human rights issues, which, of course, Dr. Fai was charged with doing. I think, these will be seen now as Pakistani propaganda, because that's, what Fai was focusing on here in the U.S.
The efforts of foreign governments to conduct intelligence operations in the United States is something that everybody does. So it's not rare. We shouldn't take it out of proportion. And in that sense, what the Pakistani ISI is doing within the U.S. is a normal part of government-to-government relations. But generally speaking, there's the expectation that intelligence officers in another country register themselves, make themselves aware to the government, and this is not something that was done. There is increasingly also the concern of some of the actions of members of the ISI within the United States threatening American citizens.
The US has turned the heat on Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI for spying on the Pakistani diaspora in America and intimidating them. Muhammad Taslim, who works as an attaché in the Pakistani consulate in New York, allegedly spied on Pakistani dissidents in America in what some analysts suggest may be payback for Pakistanis outing CIA operative and harassing CIA assets in Pakistan.
I think the U.S. is increasingly unhappy about these ham-handed ISI activities that seek to intimidate anyone who may have a different opinion of the ISI or the military. So I think the U.S. is trying to demonstrate that, the ISI is certainly not above the U.S. law, and they're not invincible. And so the U.S. is in a way, trying to protect some of these individuals who are falling under increasing ISI intimidation. And again, I would come back to the alleged murder of the journalist Salim Shahzad, and the other information which is pointing to an increasingly intimidating ISI approach to anyone who would, espouse a view that was contrary to the ISI or the Pakistan military.
More than anything, the Fai case highlights how, after years of US officials publicly treating the ISI like a close ally in the war on terror, their relationship has fallen apart. Since the raid that killed Osama bin Laden in early May, which the United States pointedly did not coordinate with the ISI or the Pakistani military, the United States has publicly criticized the ISI several times. The trial of Tahavur Rana, accused of playing a role in the 2008 Mumbai attacks, ended up also focusing on the role of a serving ISI officer in those attacks. In July 2011, the United States withheld about $800 million in military assistance to Pakistan. Unnamed American officials have also linked the ISI to the death of a Pakistani journalist. And now, the ISI has been mentioned at least 25 times in the affidavit in the case against Fai.